Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be talking all about Bitcoin. It is of course the 31st of October, it is the monthly close, it is Halloween, and we are going to see whether or not Bitcoin is likely to close above or below its recent area of resistance. And of course we'll be touching on a little bit of news. Everything around 21k, 30k is the top in. I'll be going down to a new local low. Who knows? Let's go ahead and take a look at everything. As I get into this, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right down into it. We're going to start with this piece here, right? Bitcoin struggles at 21k as trader says top is in for Bitcoin. This was 23 hours ago. Okay, I'm not going to read the entire thing because we've got a lot to kind of get through here. Just want to kind of read these top levels. I'll give you an idea of kind of how the sentiment is feeling out there, right? So basically the previous day's trips above 21k marks could be the top for Bitcoin. Blah, 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 all the kind of usual stuff. Traders are avoiding new longs below 21k, etc., 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 right? Which is interesting. And if we come over to the next one, we have Bitcoin price sees double top before the FOMC meeting. 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week, right? Which is super interesting. Now, with this double top scenario, we'll get into that in a moment. Let's take a look and see what's going on. So obviously we have the FOMC meeting now. I think the meeting is today. I'm just not sure if the minutes are coming out until like 14th, but I'm not in the States, so I don't know if that is accurate, whether or not you're going to hear something about it on the 2nd, which would be Wednesday, which is pretty typical of the FOMC meeting. So let me know in the comments below whether or not they're going to get the minutes on the 2nd, or whether or not it's just a meeting that is occurring on the 2nd. Let me know. Apparently the rates decision is due Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So let me know if that's accurate or not. Coin Telegraph here, not usually the best for that kind of fact checking. So let me know in the comments below. Super interested to know what's going on there. The 4 hour showing a double top and breakdown and downtrend break. And so someone's here speculating that this is going to occur. We come back down before going back up. All of those things. And let's see what else is going on. Clear double top sparks Bitcoin downside talk. What else have we in here? So with the FOMC, yada, too early to bottom. Yeah, there's a lot of people like myself that says it doesn't make sense for the bottom to have been in June. And also when you're tracking the wallets, it doesn't make sense that the bottom is in either. But you know, that's up for debate with many different people believing different things. Supply shock risks highest since 2017. So again, you know, not looking overly great from that point of view. Sentiment hits 6-week highs with price. And again, lots of other kind of things going on there. So some interesting kind of things to be thinking about. And then we've got this one here. Will Bitcoin fall to 14k or rise to 30k this week? What's next for Bitcoin? Again, not going to go into all the details of this, but essentially you kind of see the idea that there's analysis basically saying people pushing up, pushing down. The sentiment is a little bit all over the place, right? And we can check that, I think, with this one here, where we have the sentiment now. I'm going to just roll this up to the last hour when I started recording this video. So this is midday, so it comes out about 9 hours or so before the video is actually going live. You can see here that 47% going long, 52% are going short. So the sentiment here is actually to go up on these kind of positions. Okay, so on that note, let's talk about the positioning here. Let's actually make this a little bit bigger so you can kind of see, right? So understanding that the news is a little bit all over the place. There's definitely things that we should be expecting to occur this week with the FOMC meeting. Whether the minutes are coming out, I don't know, but let me know. According to the Coin Telegraph, it should be the 2nd. And if so, then that's going to be a volatile spike. But this video is more specifically about what is going to happen today. Okay, this candle here is going to close. This is on the monthly chart. For anyone who wants to know, this is Bitcoin paired up with USD. Monthly chart, Bitstamp is the data source, okay? Now, several things here that's worth noting. One, $19,666. This is the 2017 all-time high. This one over here is the June 2019 rally. Okay, so that is 13,880. Then we come on down here, we can see there's an area of resistance right across here, and pretty much from late 2019 through to early 2020. This is $9,586.50. Okay, so what's the importance of this closed position right here in relation to these three numbers? It's quite simple, really. We've been coming up against this area here, the 19,666. This was the area of the previous 2017 all-time high, and we were staying above this, closing above this level for the month of June, for the month of July, for the month of August. Then September came and we closed below. Okay, so basically this was a good area of support for us, and then we went ahead and closed below it. Okay, this was the first time in Bitcoin history that we had closed a monthly candle below the previous all-time high, okay, the 19,666. So the importance of October was to either confirm this as a resistance line or flip it back into support. So the closure on the October candle here is going to be very, very important for us. We're pushing up a little bit right now. We can kind of see that occurring. The question is this going to be sustainable, or is it going to stay above this previous all-time high? Okay, because if we do not, and if we do close below it again and we confirm this is resistance, this could be indicating that we're heading down towards the next level of the monthly support, which would be approximately $13,880, or to be more specifically, towards that $14,000 level. Okay, so we have to be aware that there's an area here of buying pressure as well. Okay, so that's why we're seeing some kind of volatility. Now, if I go ahead and draw this in, I'm going to make this actually just a little bit slimmer and put it right in here. And so this is basically 17,500 through to 19,350. This here is an area of demand. Okay, so these are often, if you think about everything in terms of resistance or support, basically your support line is basically an area where there's demand. It's where people want to be buying. Okay, and then we can do the same thing and think about where the resistances are. Okay, we can see this is actually a little bit broader, considering these wicks over this side here, but we can also see there's a little slither up here as well. But if we were to kind of break up above that, then this is going to be the next area that I think is going to be the major kind of supply zones. Okay, and this would actually be between 28,000 and 35,000. So if I go ahead and just drop in here supply, you kind of see that the area of resistance would be known as a supply zone. This is where people are willing to sell. Okay, this is previously an area of demand. You can see the demand was coming in, we went through, but we haven't really back tested it. Okay, so we've come down, we broke down to this potential demand area down here. We could potentially break up towards this area here, right? This being the supply zone, before we come on down again. Okay, so it's still possible that we break on down. We can't think of it all as a bit bullish. Now, we can go much further than just this, and we can reflect outside of this monthly chart. The monthly chart gives us a big macro view, right? So we want to kind of reflect on a few other things that are going on here. One, we obviously have this little area of supply coming in as well, and this one's definitely something worth noting. This is 23 to 25K, so you'd expect there to be turbulence within this area as well, as in we've tested it a couple of times, we come back down to the low range, we could test this higher range as well before breaking back down again as well. So a lot of as wells in that sentence. So just bear in mind that we've kind of got a lot of things going on in here, and if we were to come back down and we were to close below this level and close inside the demand zone, then we might actually be thinking more that $14,000 is on the horizon. Okay, so we want to be a little bit cautious with that. Now, with that being said, when we come down into our hourly chart, now I have changed data sources for this, guys. This is the usual one that we usually use. This is Bitcoin paired up with USDT on the hourly, and Binance is the data source. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this up to the daily though, and I want to reflect on the daily positioning, okay? Because we can get lost in translation, specifically when we're talking about those really minor movements on the hourly chart. But if we just zoom out onto our daily, we kind of get an idea here that we had the higher highs, the higher lows that we break down from. Pretty typical. You can see two of these here. And then when you go into lower lows and lower highs, you break upwards, right? This is the opposite of what you tend to find a lot of other people talking about. But essentially, higher highs and higher lows, they tend to break down. And when you have lower lows and lower highs, they break upwards. Of course, you can capitalize in on them if you're early enough in the movements to the upside. So during the June lows down here on Bitcoin, we were taking a look at the structure of all of this, and it was all corrective, right? There's no trend to the upside to be had here. We broke out of this area, and again, we're not setting a trend down. So we're positive from that point of view. We're not trending down from an Elliott wave theory point of view. But if I were to go ahead and throw in some EMAs, in fact, let me remove those ones, come over to here and go EMA, and just throw this on, get rid of that. Let me just go ahead and just make some alterations here. One, I want it to be white, and I want the line to be a bit bigger, and I want to make this a 1. I'm going to start with 100, right? Here we have a 100-day EMA, and you can see that we're testing this upper area here. Okay, so we're below it. So people will look at these EMAs and say that you're bearish because you're below them, or you're bullish because you're above them. There's nothing overly bullish about the 100 EMA. So let's go ahead. In fact, I've actually got one already on there. So let me go ahead and hide that one and throw this one on. And this one is our 200. Let me just check it to make sure. Yeah, 200 EMA. So you'll see that we're well below the 200 EMA. A 200 EMA is usually used by many traders as an indication of bearishness or bullishness. So the fact that we're way below the 200 and we're way below, or we're just below the 100, we should be optimistic in thinking that the price is moving down. We layer on some Elliott wave theory, and we can see a 3-wave structural drop down to this little demand area down here. So again, I'll go ahead and draw this on as demand, and just label that up down here. Now, this particular area comes in 16,300 to 16,700. Okay, now I'm not saying that we have to come down here right away, but I do think we're getting closer to the point where we are going to see that. But I don't think it's going to be this week. I think this week is actually going to be relatively green, and I do think we are more likely going to close nice and high above this level on our monthly chart, indicating that actually we're going to confirm that this area is a support line, not a resistance line, at least for another month. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. That's kind of what I'm expecting. I know a lot of people were calling the 31st of October a really bearish moment in Bitcoin history, where there's supposed to be massive drops to the downside. I don't think that's what's going to actually unfold here. I actually envision us probably testing a little bit on the higher range, and I do have that scoped out on our hourly chart. So if I come down to our hourly and I just focus in on this, as per the recent updates that we've got, it's 21,200 to 21,600. I think that's really where we're looking. And again, you know, on the 200 EMA on the hourly, we're above it. Okay, we've rested it, we confirmed it, so we pushed up and so forth. Everything's looking pretty good. We're just looking for finishing this move to the upside there, and essentially that's kind of where I have that place. So from a monthly standpoint, I'm not overly too concerned. I do think that we're going to close above. We're going to confirm that this is our demand level, and we'll probably be looking at finding the next level of supply where the next load of sellers are likely to be, and all those wonderful things. What the future holds for Bitcoin afterwards will be very interesting. On a macro level, we're definitely overbought, so we are looking for some kind of corrective action. And I'm not confident, as I said on that daily chart, that the bottom is in here for Bitcoin. It would be the shortest the shortest bear market in Bitcoin history if the June low was the bear market low. And we go through this every single bear market with lots of people calling the bottom far too early, and essentially I'm just not seeing the data. But if you're watching on stream on Twitch that we cover the wallets, we kind of know a bit more of the background data that sits there and actually represents what the whales and smaller retail investors are doing. And yeah, it's not looking bullish in my opinion. I do think there's going to be a breakdown, but I just don't think it's going to happen just yet. Do expect some green in the market. Do expect some profits if you're trading, but be cautious. I do think there is a move to the downside. But just bear in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you financial advice. All I can do is give you my thoughts and opinions on the data in the charts as I personally see it. So guys, if you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Guys, until the next one, have a fantastic day.